2021 Grand Prix of St. Pete for the IndyCar race. So let's get some interviews with some drivers, check out some liveries, and see which one we can get into. Let's go. All right.
Okay.
It's time for another On the Spot. On the Spot.
How did the race go? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, we started on pole and had a bit of a scuffle going into turn one. And I mean, mid race, we had about a 3-second gap. I thought everything was cool. We were calm. It's like, okay, getting on the radio. Hey, put your head down. You got this. You know, you're quicker than the guy behind. You're good. And then all of a sudden, I'm just, cruising, having a great time. Oh, that's a wall. I'm not going to get close. I got a lot of gap. And then all of a sudden I get the call, hey, you're 1.3 seconds behind. The enemy's behind, and he's got push to pass. And I don't know if you guys know push to pass.
Yeah.
But if you're 1.5 seconds behind, then he can get 50 more horsepower. And when he got that, I was like, oh no, here we go, this is it. And I was like, oh, we gotta focus. And I was pushing the car to the limits. I had no brakes and no tires. Everything was gone. I was scraping walls, actually. There's videos and pictures of me just hitting the wall left and right, just to try to get the most out of it. But in the end, we pulled through, and I definitely made my team a little bit nervous. Definitely, they were a little bit shaky, but it was really, really good.
Yeah. For younger families thinking of getting their kids into racing, can you explain a little of your personal experience getting started? How did this journey start, and how much support did it take to get there?
Yeah, I mean, I started when I was 6 years old in go-karts. There's these little kid carts. I went to South Bend, Indiana. It was like a home track for me. We lived close, and at the time I was kind of like a kid who didn't really like the outdoors. But we saw it on a newspaper like, oh, go-kart track. We're like, oh, okay, well, let's go. And as soon as I went, I mean, I did just like a couple laps, and I loved it ever since. And we just kept coming and coming. And soon somebody actually saw me. His name was Brent Ebert, and he's like, hey, I mean, if you want, you can take this, take a couple championships, nothing serious, but it's more fun, a lot more people, a lot more drivers. So we went. I sucked. I did really, really bad. I mean, we did so many championships. It took about 2 years. And after 2 years, we found a very, very good coach. And he said, hey, I think there's some talent in your kid, talking to my dad, to me. And he says, I want to coach him. And with his coaching, I ended up, it was USPKS, I think. And it was in Pennsylvania. And that was my first race I ever won. And after that, I mean, my confidence just went through the roof. And I ended up winning like all the series in the U.S. We won USPKS, WK, Route 66, SCUSA. I mean, it was huge. And then my name was made. But at that time, I was still doing it for fun. But it was starting to kind of more just be like everything I did. At that time, it was easier to count the days that I wasn't in school than how many days I was in school. So the teachers weren't happy, but I was happy. I was having a great time. But yeah, and then after the U.S. series, that's when things started getting quite serious. I mean, we had many different sponsors coming up to us and different people from Europe saying, hey, you're doing really, really good. I want to bring you to the World Leagues, take you global. And that's when I went to Le Mans, France, and it was a very, very intense race. It was like the World Finals. There was hundreds and hundreds of drivers all around the world, and the U.S. drivers never won it. And so we come in there out of the blue, nowhere in 2015, and we won. We were the quickest in practice. We qualified on pole, won all the heats, the pre-final, the final, everything. Like we just swept the weekend. Everybody's like, who's this kid just coming out of nowhere? And I was just picking my nose, playing video games. I was like, oh, this is fun. And then after that was when I had to like kind of grow up. I mean, that's when I got taken to Germany, England, Dubai, Abu Dhabi. But by myself. I had no family, nothing. It was just like everything was kind of paid for. We had sponsors. And throughout those years were the hardest. I was almost like mentally, it was very hard for me. I was, never home. It was so long, and doing all these different series, it was okay, it's not okay. We were kind of mid-pack. Sometimes we do good. And so then it kind of started going a little bit downhill there. But our whole plan was to come back to the U.S. And, and when we came back to the U.S., we made our own team. And it was in USF 2000, and we come in at Road America, and we put on pole by like a second. And everyone's like, again, who's this kid? Where'd he come from? And some people were like, wait, I remember seeing you like back at go-karting. And I was like, yeah, I'm back. And so, yeah, when we came back to America, we did the Road to Indy series. We started from USF 2000, Indy Pro 2000, and now we're in IndyLights. And the team has grown ever since then. and we've picked up a lot of sponsors. I am now 19. My family's always still with me, and I mean, now we just have a great time. I mean, we're doing really, really good. The team's doing good, and it's been a really, really long journey. But a lot of people think, you know, racing's the main deal. But actually, when you get to these leagues, into the Road to Indy, it's such a big series, it's almost, the racing's the fun bit. It's everything after that that's hard. You know, it's like, that's when you got to work. So it's like, I go in a race, and then when I get out of the car, you got to do interviews, got to talk to sponsors, and make everybody feel happy. But yeah, I mean, but I love it, and it's kind of like, my job is just to make everybody smile and make sure I do good on track. So it's been a long journey coming, but in the end, we're doing really good now.
Nice. Why race on the road to Indy? What is it about the opportunity in IndyCar that appeals you so much right now and not any other racing?
Well, the series, if you start in USF 2000 and you can get a pole, I mean, you have almost like a free ride to go to Indy Pro and then go to IndyLights, and then from IndyLights go into IndyCar. And they do such a good job of getting your name shown. I mean, like I said, racing is like the least amount of the things you have to do. Once you get out of the car, you have all these interviews to do, which, you know, some drivers might say, oh, you know, I don't really like it, it's not that good. But it gets your name out, and that's how you grow fans and grow a fan base. And then maybe somebody in IndyCar may hear your name, and you don't get that anywhere else. You know, it's very, very difficult, and it's in other series, it's almost like you just need to have a lot of money just to keep going. But in here, they give you a lot of opportunities in many different ways. So I think that's why this series is doing so well, and will just continue to grow.
If you had to choose between winning an IndyCar championship or winning the Indy 500 as your driving legacy, which would be a bigger accomplishment for you personally, and what would set them apart?
Probably the IndyCar championship, mainly because, I mean, if you look at the IndyCar field, you can't say one of them is not good. I mean, you look at the field, you're like, I think he's going to win. Maybe he's going to... actually, I think they all might win. I don't know. Like, this is pretty intense. Yeah, so... I think winning an IndyCar championship and being consistent against these really, really impressive drivers, that would be, a dream of mine. Yes, the Indy 500 is a huge deal, but ovals haven't really done an amazing job with ovals, and they do still scare me, because actually in IndyLights in 2019 had a big incident in the oval, 195 into the wall. So oval's a little bit shaky, but I don't know, maybe it would be a turnover, and winning an oval would kind of be like a big redemption, winning that Indy 500. But I think having that consistency to win a championship for IndyCar, that would be an amazing goal for me.
How exciting is it for you to think eventually you'll be racing against these drivers wheel to wheel? Are there any drivers in particular you hope to race against?
When you look at the field, a lot of them are like my idols still, and now we're in IndyLights, we're only one step below, and things are looking up. If we win this championship, next thing you know, I'm going to be in IndyCar, and it's just going to be surreal, I think, to just see my name next to like one of these people that I've looked up to my whole life. But I'm really excited to get to IndyCar and actually be side by side with Pato O'Ward, because I actually used to do go-karting with him. When we were just little kids. And so I think it would be really, really cool to see, because we do have a picture of us when we were younger. I think it would be cool to see when we're at go-karts, just picking our noses, just playing around, and then get a picture of us in IndyCar. I think that would be really, really surreal.
Seems like everyone's been go-karting with Pato.
Yeah, Pato was everywhere. I remember wherever we went, and Pato would just show up and be like, hey! And I'm like, oh, hey, awesome. But him and his family, we love him, and we have really good connections with them. So I think that would be unbelievable to be racing side by side with him.
And that's a wrap for St. Pete. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. I know I enjoyed filming it. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. See you guys later.